Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me, Shahar, Erez, CEO of Stoke Talent, to discuss the freelance market and how that segment of workers can benefit companies. Shahar, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
What are some 2021 trends you are noticing or expecting to occur in the freelance market this year?
So, with everything happening in 2020, with work from home being such mainstream, we're now seeing alternative workforce that has started becoming mainstream during 2019, really pushing through and becoming mainstream for corporates in 2021. We started seeing signals of that happening throughout 2020 as companies have shifted permanent workforce into flexible workforce, as reported by Gartner, Deloitte, and McKinsey. 25 to 30% of employments are moving into flexible labor. And we expect that to accelerate. Already today, we're seeing only 60% of workers at companies being employees, and the other 40% are split between freelancers, contractors, and staffing agencies and their variety. And those 1099 freelancers, contractors are growing 3 times faster compared to traditional employment arrangement. We expect that to accelerate.
How can companies avoid compliance issues if they decide to hire freelance contract workers?
That's a great question. There are so many compliance issues with handling employees and then contractors. There's 3 core compliance areas. Number 1 is legal compliance. Have they signed the right paperwork? Are they allowed to work for you? Can you actually pay them? Then there's tax compliance. Have you collected all tax documents, WA, W-9s? You need to submit 1099 at the end of the year. IRS, by the way, has recently raised the penalties for late 1099 submission for $3 million a year per company for those late submissions. And then there's everything to do with workforce classification, which gained a lot of news during 2020 with AB5 being legislated in California, turning into Prop 22. And then, there's a variety of those in New York, New Jersey. And with Biden now getting into office and supporting the PRO Act, we're going to see more of those ABC tests to establish compliance for independent contractors being an issue for companies. Really, the only way to handle independent contractors at companies is by adopting a platform that allows to establish those compliance risks. Because the reality is there's really no one owning independent contractors within companies. It is kind of split responsibility between the hiring managers, the finance teams, the legal teams, procurement in some cases, operations. And so when so many people are involved and there's no clear owner, it means no one's really owning it. One of the key questions that we see when we talk to customers, how many employees you have? Everybody knows, 342, 2,000, and 2,500. How many independent contractors? Everyone starts looking at it. No one knows. So if you don't know how many employees how many independent contractors you have, you can surely not guarantee they're all compliant.
So what is shadow HR then? Is it very common?
So shadow HR has become really, really common. And, I brought the term shadow HR from my experience at working in cloud computing before that. And we kind of used the term shadow IT back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when we kind of said people are bypassing traditional IT and kind of buying their own IT software. And we're seeing the same process now happening within organization. Managers that want to move fast are hiring independent contractors, not going through the channels. And then when audit comes or someone starts looking under the hood, they find out there's more contractors and freelancers than they thought. They don't have the right paperwork. They don't submit the right terms. People are still connected to the system long after they've done doing work for the company, which puts the company further in danger because there's data compliance there. And so really shadow HR means people that are doing work for your company, but do not fall under supervision or control by any system to assure that the company is operating correctly.
What are the benefits of companies hiring freelancers?
Well, there's a long list. Number 1, obviously, is flexibility and agility. Some of the best talent out there is now freelancing. People of all the ranks want to freelance, want flexibility. New generation wants a different contract with life. And so top talent is actually freelancing. Accelerated time to market. Freelancers are accustomed to get started, hit the ground running, and go execute because they know they're on a short project. And so they execute a lot faster. Freelancers have shown to have increased levels of creativity. They're accustomed to working from home. And it allows the entire organization to empower people at the front line to make decisions and hire the freelancers or the people that they want very quickly and test them on the job and then decide if you want to continue working with them.
And let me ask you this. Tell us where Stoke Talent fits in this ecosystem. Do you have any tips for employers bringing on freelance workers, and how can they better adapt them into company culture and environment? That's been such a big thing for 2020 and going to 2021, where we're not all physically in one place. How can you make them feel not just that they're working on a contract, but really be part of the mission that the company is driving towards?
So really, I think there's the most important thing, like anything else, is communication, being very, very transparent. If you're bringing a freelancer for a task, if you want them to write a single blog or create a logo for you, if that's the project, then you don't need to put in the effort to make them part of the culture. It's very plausible to come and say, hey, it's a one-time project. You're here for a week and then that's it. And so just set the basis. If it's someone you want to bring in to be part of your team for a 3-month project, 6-month project, or 9 months project, then be very clear that you expect them to be part of the team, have them part of the team meeting, put in the right structure, give them the feedback. And part of what Stoke will help you do is make sure that while you do all that, you're keeping compliant. Because once you have people working with you for that 6-9 month period, you're getting into that gray zone of, are they becoming employees? What does it mean from a social benefits perspective? And that's why we're seeing today that 25 to 30% of employers misclassify contractors. That has significant issues on the company. And so Stoke will help you, get to exactly to what you were talking about. Empower the managers, get those freelancers to quickly be part of the organization and set the right expectation, and make sure that you're keeping compliant and kind of keeping all your HR in the light and out of the shadows.
All right, Shahar, appreciate the insight. Thanks so much for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you for having me.